Hey there, you're listening to Movies Not Music, the bi-weekly Waves on the Shore series where Jaron walks me through the wild world of the film industry. We're so glad you're here today. All that's left to do is kick back, relax, and enjoy.
We're not biased, we just don't like bad music. So Evan is the 2022 Motherweight champion, apparently. He informed me of this about 5 minutes ago, shortly after I took a dump.
This is why
while I was
intro
eating
the
chili
podcast.
lime
What
sun
is
chips.
going on? This is why Jaron takes the sideline for the intros, because that was disastrous. However, you know what was not disastrous?
I'm
Or you know what's not going to be disastrous? This intro, because I'm doing
Okay.
it.
right.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the newest episode of Movies Not Music, M&M, as we like to call it, because we are... wow, I completely forgot what that's called. What's that called? Not a short form. Acronym? Yes.
Yeah.
We are acronym...
That's an acronym.
Acronym extraordinaires. And so... you actually are an acronym extraordinaire. Your Instagram handle...
Oh, that's true.
It's just a bunch of
My
acronyms.
It's two acronyms. It's one big acronym.
I
but
still
it's
just
two.
read it as Jep Watts. I can't even
That's
lie.
what you should do, because it has the. It's a good acronym because it has vowels and it sounds like things. You know.
Yeah.
It's not a
Throwback
real
to
word, though.
J6.
Well,
The OG
J6
name.
was-
It wasn't an acronym,
Do you
but
It's not an acronym. Do you know what that is?
I'm pretty sure you told me a long time ago.
All right,
but I
well,
forget.
I'll inform you and the podcast. I'll remind you. J6 is a made-up word, and I created it probably when I was in like 4th grade when I made my Xbox gamer tag.
J6. It's kind
And,
of smooth though. It works well.
I think it's cool,
Dude, it's not corny. Like it's just a good name.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I don't know how I came up with it. Well, I think I was probably sitting there like 4th grade Jaron, like 10-year-old Jaron's like sitting there in the family room, right? And he's sitting on the carpet, like staring. He's got his new Xbox 360, and he's like, "Bro, I gotta come up with a cool name. It's gotta be original." Because my older brother was like, "Dude, you can't have numbers in your name. Only
No.
losers have numbers in their names." Like the coolest names never have numbers.
Never.
I'm sorry if you have a number in your name, but it's true. And I will admit, actually, my first gamer tag was J645 because my favorite number was 45. I since moved on from the 45.
Can't do the number, Chief. No can do.
For a little while, my Instagram handle was Jaron_Pike 45 because of that number. But anyway,
I feel
was probably
like I
sitting there
remember
and
that actually. I think I may have.
yeah,
been
it
around
probably
at the
wasn't
time.
too long ago. I think I came up with the name because my name starts with a J and an A. And so I think I like kind of took that and just somehow made something else that kind of sounds half decent. But enough about my gamer tag. We could actually we're talking about Begin Again today. We're covering it.
John Carney.
The second movie in our voyage into John Carney's filmography. But after we discuss that, if we wanted to, well, we could maybe talk about me. Well, no. I might cut
Why
this.
the heck would we talk about Jaron?
No, I didn't finish my thought, but whatever. I'll leave all of
want
this
to hear about
rambling
that. Are
in.
you kidding? Man,
Let's just talk about me for once.
I want to talk about me.
Because I'm just really interesting, I think. I'm a fascinating guy.
For the sake of everyone else, I'm gonna disagree on everyone's behalf.
Okay. Well, let's just jump into
I
it.
think you know what, Jaron.
You know?
Let's do that. Let's just jump head first into a
Okay,
shallow
so I will
pool.
say,
That was
Ayo.
that was not meant
let's
to be.
break our neck on some rocks, bro.
Dude, let's run it, bro. I got a hard floor in my room.
You gotta wait. You're hard for what?
I have a hard floor in my room. I can't take this guy anywhere, bro.
I'm sorry. I do it on purpose. Usually.
It's okay. Not everyone can be mature.
Okay, so Begin Again is my favorite John Carney movie, probably.
I'm gonna come out and say I think I liked this more than Once.
It's a little bit more. I think
There's
it's a
more
little bit
to
more.
it, I think.
Sure. Than Once.
Yeah.
Than Once. Yeah. So I think it's a little bit more digestible. Like, in a way, like, I think more. It's a more broadly appealing, if that makes sense. I think it just has a more. The other one's a little bit more almost like indie. Like some people might be bored with Once.
Well, I think the other
uncultured people
with Once, like it's very much like you've just taken like just a glimpse into just an unordinary or just standard like month-long period of someone's life, which is interesting, and the way it's presented is very neat, and the music is very good. With Begin Again, there is like a plot line and a timeline going on here, and there's more moving parts. There's more to try and piece together as a viewer.
That's true.
So I think in that way, it's more engaging.
I think it's less mundane.
Yeah,
maybe if that's a
which
good way
is
to put
which
it.
is one of the strengths to Once. I think the fact that Once is so plain that sounds like a diss. It's what makes it stand out. But Begin Again is very much more what you expect when you turn on a movie. From my stance.
And you like literally just finished this movie like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, it was so painful. My Wi-Fi kept like cutting in and out. I really hope it doesn't do anything while we're recording.
We almost didn't record today, and granted, it doesn't cut out and we don't jinx it. We should
please don't
be able to finish recording.
It's like I was watching, and then it would just pause. And then it would be like, "Hey, so you're not connected to the internet." And then I go back.
My first
time.
question for you.
My first answer.
Okay. Would be, what do you think of the cast? Do you have any thoughts on the cast? That being, well, no, go ahead and just answer the question, and I'll do my movie thing after you.
Ooh. Right away, who is Dan? What actor is that?
Dan, wait. Yeah, Dan, you mean the ex-boyfriend? Right?
Like the main record.
Oh, wait,
guy.
my bad. I'm confusing names.
Maybe
David
I said the wrong name.
David is the ex-boyfriend, right? Or is it Dave?
Dave is the ex-boyfriend. I'm talking like the main record guy.
Yeah, the main character. So that's Mark Ruffalo. He plays, I mean, he's in a lot of movies. He's just a really good actor. But more recently, a lot of younger people will recognize him as the Hulk in the Avengers movies.
Oh, he's the Hulk. Crazy.
Yes. Mark Ruffalo plays the Hulk.
So he looks like one of my friend's dads, which was kind of like that's so
cool.
random. But I was like, dang, kind of looking like Mark. I can't lie. But as for the cast, it was definitely neat seeing Adam Levine. Foreshadowing.
It's not the only movie he's in, but he's not in a lot of things.
Quite a foreshadowing film with his antics on the road. Am I wrong?
Wait, hold on. Now I want to talk about the meme that went around and like was it over the summer?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was last summer.
So for those of you who don't know, Adam Levine had a bunch of DMs leaked from women whose DM like so he has a wife, I'm pretty sure,
and
who's
kids.
pregnant and kids. I don't know if she was pregnant. Maybe she wasn't, but he at least has kids. And he basically got exposed for like being extremely thirsty. Like these DMs were like desperate. And people started memeing them, and he says something along the lines of like,
"Oh, the one is so bad."
There's one in particular.
He is basically when negative Riz started. When that term, Riz kind of took off at the same time as Adam Levine's cheating scandal because he just had so little of it. Like, it was so bad.
It was hilarious. But like he says something along the lines of like, "You're so effing hot." Ugh. God. And he's saying all these like one word like texts. He's just like, "Oh my God, you're amazing. I can't fathom." Like it's just like he's like using these words. It's like, okay, bro.
You're 40.
All right. He's not the Rizzler. I think he's older than 40. I think he's pushing 50 at this point. I could be wrong. But yeah, that's funny little side tangent. But he actually, I think, does a pretty good job of acting.
He does a very good job.
He just plays a douchebag who would cheat on his significant other really well. Not unsurprisingly. And then obviously, I say what you want about him personally. I like his voice a lot, just in general. I always have. And I think
it's a very impressive voice. As for if I like it, I think sometimes it can get annoying because it's almost like too sharp, too shimmery, too perfect.
I would agree to some extent. Sometimes his voice is like it's too
good.
It's akin to me. It's like Carrie Underwood. It's too in your
yeah,
face
exactly.
sometimes.
It's like, can you show me that you're a little human? Like, can you just tremble on that note, or be a fraction of a beat late there? It's just always so perfect that it kind of takes away.
Adam, when you're done stripping on stage, can you just like be normal for a second? Okay, can you just like chill out, bro? Like, come on, keep your shirt on. Don't and stop influencing people like Jimmy Allen, because we don't need more of that. We don't need that. You can keep the clothes on. Also, Jimmy Allen was opening at that concert. Like, he wasn't even a headliner, and this man is like taking his clothes. Have you seen the meme of Patrick Beverley like winning a game with the Timberwolves and like tearing his jersey off and like throwing it into the stands? And it's just like, bro, you won it.
The opener.
Yeah, you won a game, bro. Like, you just won a game. Like, you didn't even... Man thinks it's the NBA Finals. Sorry, we're getting way off. But, yeah, Adam Levine's in this movie, and I think he does a good job.
I think he does a good job, too. I also liked hearing him... Maybe I haven't dove deep enough into Maroon 5's discography, but...
I listened to them a lot when I was in, like,
for the most
middle school, early high school.
For the most part, from what I've heard, which isn't, like... just the hits, but it's not their... I haven't dug deep into their old stuff. It's mostly just like pop rock stuff. But hearing him in this movie, he plays the character of Dave Cole, who's an up-and-coming musician. Yeah. And hearing him on specifically, real quick. Okay, no, I'm gonna finish my thought first. Hearing him on the song "Lost Stars," which is kind of like the main hit of the the movie. Oh my gosh.
It's a pretty good song.
I think it's a really good song. Yeah. I also really liked hearing Adam over a folky, like sophisticated guitar ballad. I was like, this is different. Are there other voices I'd rather be on it? Yes. Do I think, I don't know the actor's name, but do I think the girl who wrote the song in the movie?
Keira Knightley plays our main character. Remind me her name. So just for context, the last time I watched this movie was over the summer, but I've seen it multiple times. Sometimes I watch so many movies that sometimes I struggle with character names.
That's fair.
What's her name?
Her name was Greta.
Greta. See, that's not a common one. So actually,
you get the pass.
I get a pass.
I think I prefer Greta's.
Oh, for sure.
Whispery tone.
Oh my god, dude, Keira Knightley's so hot. Sorry,
we can get that out of the way.
I had to get that out of the way. I'm just attracted.
She made 2000s look okay. She made the 2000s.
Yeah. This movie was from the early 2010s.
It was 2013. But it's still that holding on to like 2007. Let me wear a leather vest over like, oh, it's so bad.
I guess. Yeah. You seem to have more disdain for like the late 2000s than I do. We've had this conversation before.
We have.
That's funny. But no, Keira Knightley's voice is actually so, to me, it's really unique. Like we've both listened to a lot of music, and I have listened to the music from this movie over the past like 5 years, 6 years, ever since I first saw it. And I can't really find or think of a person's voice who is similar to Keira's voice. Like, obviously,
would you hate me if I said Lizzie McAlpine reminds me of it a little bit?
Yeah, I wouldn't hate you, but I would disagree with you because I think like Phoebe Bridgers and Lizzie McAlpine are more similar than.
But I
than
don't think
Keira
Phoebe
Knightley.
Bridgers is that far of a stretch. Hold on.
Okay, I think maybe what it is to me, it's more like high.
No, I'm sorry.
Not high.
I'm sticking with my like Lizzie McAlpine comparison on that.
It's not a horror. There could be way worse comparisons.
Yeah, like if I said it reminds me of like Chris Stapleton, we'd be like, well,
yeah, or Adele. Like that's not like she's a woman, but their voices are not.
Dude, like Lady Gaga, they're the same.
Oh gosh. But anyway, her voice is like, what's it? Almost like stringy.
Whispery.
And light, whispery. And Lizzie McAlpine's there a little bit, but maybe it's like the Britishness, like because Keira Knightley's British. Maybe
she doesn't say a single T ever.
That's not entirely true.
Not entirely true.
Yeah, okay, she does not talk like that. Right, so...
Right then, blood, when we going to record this album, bruv? I'll smack you up if you don't give me that deal, bruv.
Actually, while we're on that, let's talk about the British character. So, do you know who James Corden is?
Did you just ask me if I know who James Corden is?
Look, bro, I don't know what you do or do not know when it comes to, like, people in the Hollywood world.
But he's not movie. You know what? That's fair. But I know who James Corden is.
Yeah. Yes, he's
done quite a few funny skits, actually.
The Late Late Show?
I forget one of them.
I think he's actually not that funny, but sometimes he has his shining moments. But
I think he's had a few good skits where I'm just like, you know what?
I've seen a lot of headlines of him being a douchebag, and so I just don't.
I have heard that too.
Yeah. But you hear that about certain famous people. So
but he's not even the only one in the movie.
I think he plays like fat. He plays the fat like roommate. Like silly guy pretty well. Like, and he's not annoying.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And the thing was, I was surprised I was able to like separate the character from James Corden. Like
he does an actually pretty good job.
It took me a second because at first I was like, "Yo, it's James Corden." Like that's funny, but like after like 2 or 3 scenes, I was able to pretty well like I wasn't thinking, "Look at James Corden in a movie." It was just the character in the movie. I was able to buy into it.
Yeah. I actually really like his character because he's very much like all in on even though he's not the greatest at like music and he also okay, let me finish my first thought and then I'll interrupt myself. He's this busker we see and he's like been doing music for a while obviously. He obviously doesn't make him a lot of money judging from the clothes he wears and the apartment that he lives in. But when Greta starts to have more success than him, he doesn't get jealous or anything. He supports her and he's like, let's do this. Like, I'm going to help you. We're going to do this thing. And this is your thing and I'm going to help you do it. And I think that's a really cool thing because a lot of people in his position would get toxic and venomous and would not be a homie. So
it wouldn't be like that.
I actually really like his character. Everybody needs what's his character's name?
Steve.
Steve?
Yeah.
Oh. Everybody needs a Steve in their life, I think. You know?
So
keep you up.
While we're on the topic of the cast, because there's another name that I recognized. Not CeeLo Green.
Oh, CeeLo Green?
Not CeeLo Green. But CeeLo Green's really funny, and I like his inclusion in the movie.
I like that he's just in this movie.
I do.
Because he was at the end of his popularity.
Yeah.
Because there was like 5 years where he was like, it was like from like 2008 to 2013, and this was like the end of that. So he's in this movie.
But he has a really good feature on a Mac Miller song in 2016. So.
Oh, really?
He does.
Huh. I might have to check that out.
I know I've seen this name before, and this is where you sort of like are justified in asking me if I know who James Corden is. Who's Haley Steinfeld?
Oh my goodness!
Because I know
talk about another attractive woman.
I know I've heard that name.
So Haley Steinfeld.
She didn't marry
music.
Justin Bieber, did she? Is that a different girl?
No. That's a different Haley. I think his wife's name.
It was a Haley.
Haley Steinfeld is an actress and musician. She's in. Her first big movie role was she was a much younger child actor in I think it was 2010. True Grit and it was a Western. So she was like she was one of the two main characters.
Grit as a reference to like grits.
True grit, as in like if you say somebody's got grit, you know what that means, right?
Yeah.
If somebody has grit. Okay. I didn't know Canadians don't know things, so I just thought I'd ask.
We actually don't know.
But Haley Steinfeld actually has a few good. I haven't like listened to a ton of her biography, but it's cool that she's in the song because she's actually pretty good at music. She has a song called Rock Bottom that I used to like, but Jaron 6 years ago liked it. I haven't heard it probably in like 6 years, so like I can't actually vouch if it's good, but I liked it at the time.
Those songs go crazy though. There are some songs I have that I really liked like years ago, and it's like I listen back now, and I'm like, okay, this song sucks, but personally, this is going really hard right now.
Right.
There is one.
And a lot of it's nostalgia.
I have a like very recent example because it just came on the other day. I forget if I like just shuffled my music or something, but it came on. It was the most random thing. I was obsessed with it for like, let's say, like 3 weeks maybe in the summer of 2018, which is freakishly 5 years ago now. Don't know how I found it. Tokyo Nights by Digital Farm Animals, Sean Frank, and Dragonette. I don't know how I found it. I don't really follow any of those people. The song, I listened back the other day. I was like, this kind of sucks, but the nostalgia is crazy. So if you want to listen to a song that you cannot nostalgically connect to, but you can hear and think, wow, somewhere in the Great White North, there is a man named Evan vibing like crazy right now. So, it's kind of, I was like, shoot, I forgot this song existed. But it's going crazy.
That's how. Actually, I have a slightly relevant story. So I used to vibe.
That's a first.
Mega hard to Imagine Dragons' first album, and I know there's a couple really big hits off of it that like everybody will know, but like literally every other song nobody knows. And
I only know
one
the
of
big
their
Imagine Dragons songs.
One of their album cuts off of their first album came on in Cheesecake Factory while I was there with Grady, and we're both in the bathroom. And I look
Jaron
at Grady
and Grady
and I'm like,
just casually in the bathroom together. What do you think is going on in there? Like,
well, funnily enough, we ended up
business
talking
meeting
about
going
music.
down in the stall.
But like I look at Grady and I'm like, this is Imagine Dragons, and it's not one of their like popular songs. And he's like, you're right. It was. I'm trying to think of what song it was. It was off of Night Visions, their 2012 album.
Holy crap, bro! Why do they have so many versions of all the songs?
I think it was Hear Me, but I could be wrong.
The expanded edition is 54
songs.
Left to say. That's gross.
Of what?
Of Night Visions.
Oh, Jesus. I didn't realize they did a... What is this? Yeah, no, when I talk about Night Visions... Oh my goodness. Where did all these songs come from? So they added a bunch of live things. Okay, so... so it's technically... Oh my goodness. I don't know what I'm... We're off track, but I don't even care. Okay, so there's 4 discs. The 4th disc is a bunch of remakes. Oh my goodness. There's 8 remixes of It's Time.
Has so many, bro.
Oh my goodness. And then there's 2 live versions of It's Time. What is this? They're just dumping. What is happening? What have we discovered? What is this?
You're welcome.
I don't understand. So it looks like it like kind of starts out as like a deluxe anniversary. And then once you get past the 2nd disc, it's just live recordings and probably not very good remixes. But I stand by the fact that Night Visions, their first album, is actually a goated album. And so is their 2nd album. The non-deluxe versions. Just the unadulterated release day versions. But back onto the Haley Steinfeld thing. If you were to... get curious and venture out, and which you should because this is a good soundtrack. But you can find literally every song that's performed by Keira Knightley and Adam Levine in this movie on streaming. And There's a version of Tell Me If You Want to Go Home where in the movie, Haley Steinfeld has a guitar solo. Her character does. And I guess we should say Haley Steinfeld plays Mark Ruffalo's character's daughter. I think his name is Dan, right?
Yeah.
So Dan's daughter is played by Haley Steinfeld, and she kind of dabbles in guitar, and she's not like a prodigy, but she's like competent enough to kind of throw together a solo that's decent. And the version of Tell Me If You Want to Go Home with that solo, I think is just really good. Like really good. I really enjoy it. I like how open and breathable the songs that they write in the movie, like all the songs that Greta's character puts together.
They're right up my alley, bro.
With Dan are just very like they breathe a lot.
They use my favorite chord.
Oh,
there's
yeah?
like, I don't even know what it's called. I ain't gonna lie. But if anyone plays guitar.
Fake chord fan.
Dude, I have no theory. I don't. I don't have formal theory at all.
I don't either.
But if you play a C major 7 chord, which is also one of my favorite chords of all time, and then just slap a G on the bottom, and you have...
Just slap a G on it, bro.
You have one of the... Hold up. Y'all gotta hear this chord.
Okay,
it is so pretty.
Bless our ears. Play it for our drums.
Jaron's talking crap, but it's okay, because I'm about
not
to show you the
talking
pretty
crap.
chord of all time. So you
Evan's
got
a
C
petty.
major
Well, now
7.
I'm talking crap. Evan's a petty little boy.
Beautiful.
Get closer.
Mike.
Get closer.
Beautiful. Just put a G on the bottom. That's all you need. Ready? Oh my gosh. And you can be Noah Khan. You can literally be him.
Yeah.
All you gotta do
We are Noah
capo
Khan. Or I guess
on
you
4.
Are, not we.
And you got one of the best Noah Khan songs on Stick Season. Everything.
Oh, great. Evan's turning into one of those guys that plays the guitar when you don't ask him to. You're like, you really don't have to play. And then Evan's like, okay,
It's
this
been
is
a long
clip.
year. Would we survive in a horror movie? I doubt it. We're too slow moving. And we trust everyone we meet. And then you just go to a normal G. Yep. That's how you be Noah Khan. Just grow a beard, really long hair.
I'm kind of upset that Evan didn't sing that. This is getting clipped. Clip this, Jaron.
Sorry, I just had to rant about that, whatever that chord is called, because it is beautiful.
No, it was good. It was good.
Do you like my performance?
Also, I actually wasn't talking crap, and then you said that, and then I called you petty. so then I did.
I deserved
it. Where were we though? Oh, we had been talking about Haley Steinfeld, but yeah, the music is just. I do think. Well, I'll just say it. I think not only is this my favorite John Carney movie, I think it is the best one. It's the best one. I think it has the best music. Although there are some days where I vibe heavy with a few of the tracks on Once's soundtrack. But like the guitar solo in Tell Me If You Want to Go Home, when it comes in and this is the driving drums, and bro, I normally don't give a flying toot about tambourine, but you can hear some tambourine in the background of that song.
Tambourine goes crazy.
Okay.
Tambourine goes crazy.
Right. It really does.
Crazy.
But I know I say this every episode, and I know I say that every episode, and I'm doing this thing again where I acknowledge things that I say, and I need to stop doing it. But
Speak.
I really like the kind of character arc that Mark Ruffalo's character goes through.
Yes.
It's like my favorite. It's like just my favorite thing about this movie, excluding the music.
I have a different favorite moment. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay. But I like seeing like him as a washed-up producer who discovers Greta, and they kind of do this thing together, and they're like, okay, let's do this. And then he him and Greta starting their relationship kind of acts as a catalyst for him to repair his relationship with his ex-wife and his daughter. And I like seeing him learn to kind of be
present,
a better father, and be more present. But you also learn that a lot of his shortcomings are not entirely his fault, which I like, because I find that to be more realistic than just it's the father who doesn't want to be with his family. No, it's not that he doesn't want to be with them. It's that it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
And that's like you find out his wife had kind of cheated on him, and so the reason he left was mostly because of that. It had nothing to do with his daughter, and so his daughter has kind of been hurt as a result of both of their mistakes.
Mm-hmm. And
it's really cool. I really like the scene where him and his wife, he talks about how with Greta, he talks about how him and his wife just like walked around and listened to like a CD player together, and him and Greta do that with an MP3 player at one point, and then later in the movie,
right at the end,
right at the end, him and his wife do that, and it's kind of this full circle moment. Like, it's just very wholesome.
It's interesting because you get the full circle of, I guess like Mark Ruffalo and his wife. Their relationship gets back together, but we're left on a cliffhanger of what happens with Greta and Dave Cole.
Yeah, no, she's not getting back together with Dave. That's not
happening. Okay,
no,
but
no.
This is my favorite.
Ain't no way.
This is my favorite.
If Greta goes back with Dave, she's a fool.
Oh my gosh!
And there's literally a song. There's a song in this movie called
I figured you were making a reference to that. My favorite like individual scene or moment in the movie is right at the end when Adam Levine or Dave Cole comes back to Greta in New York. He's like, we need to meet up and talk. And this is after he's cheated on her, gone on a big tour. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll try to quickly. They were boyfriend and girlfriend. They wrote songs together. His career kind of started to blow up a little bit. He's able to he meets with a record label. He signs a deal with them. His career starts to like quickly accelerate, and Greta's kind of left in the dust. Like 3 months into this happening, Greta discovers that Dave has cheated on her. And might I say that Dave takes a mighty great L, because the woman that he cheats on Greta with is an L. I'm not trying to demean that person as a character, but also as an actual real life person in real life. But like, Keira Knightley is a queen. And you did not do things that were good. You just fumbled the bag mighty heavily,
fumble,
good sir.
Bro. Heavy fumble.
Yeah, it was a major fumble.
It's like bro. It's like you're in OT in the Grey Cup because the Super Bowl is trash, and you get OT. You get like punt return. You go right to the touchdown line. And instead of touching, you just turn around and launch the ball the other way. That's what he did. But
Dave's a chump, and Greta should not get back with him. You're right, it's not totally resolved, but I take her walking out at the end
as the resolution. The reason why it's my favorite part. So Dave comes back, and he wound up cutting one of her songs, this really special one called Lost Stars, which I think I've only seen the movie. I haven't like listened to the songs separate from the movie, but
sure.
From that,
you hear it a few times.
I think Lost Stars is the standout. It's so pretty. It's the one that I think uses that C major 7 G chord, whatever. So Dave Cole or Adam Levine cuts that, and he's gonna put it on his album. And he comes back to play her the version, the master that he has come up with for that song. And she hates it because the song originally, when they wrote it together, was just a really soft acoustic ballad. And it's so pretty. Yeah. Whereas he kind of turns it into like this pop rock belting. It's like a Thomas Rhett song, honestly.
I will say the more produced version is not bad.
It's not bad, but she says like I don't like it. It lost its soul. That's not what the song was supposed to be. And so she gets really mad, and then basically he invites her out to a show and says, "Just listen to it. Look at how the people react to it." And he goes to play the song, and she's just there in the corner. He doesn't know she's there, but he says, "This is a very special song that a very special woman wrote, and if she's here, there's a guitar waiting up here for you if you want to come play it." He's like, "I don't know if you're here or not," and there is a guitar waiting for her. She never goes up, even though she was there, and he starts playing it, as the original version. The song starts. The song starts like really acoustic, and it's like, oh shoot, maybe he listened to her and he's playing the version she wanted the world to hear. He's playing the version that might not do as well commercially, but is what the song is supposed to be. But then like halfway through, the whole band comes in, and then by the bridge, it is just back to this pop rock belter. And at that moment, she turns around and walks out of the venue and leaves, and it is so awesome because it's just like, take your stand. I loved that scene.
Yeah, it's one of the standout scenes, I think, because that is Greta. Greta is becoming her own person in that moment.
Yeah,
I think. Like officially, like it's kind of her, like that's the final step. And I like that they decide to just release her album like digitally online, just like basically for. I think she does it for free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a very cool like independent thing to do.
Wait, is it free?
Or it's available for download. Like it's not. She's doing it independently.
Yeah. And it sells 10,000 copies in one day.
Yeah, and she does pretty good for an independent artist. I think that Thomas Rhett comparison you did was good, but I will say, when Thomas Rhett overproduces his songs, it's way worse. Like it just is.
Fair.
And the produced version of Lost Stars is still a banger. I think like it's not the bastardization of like Angels.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad, but it's just not what she wanted the song to be, and so
but I do agree with her. I think I like the acoustic version better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll listen to both for sure.
I should rate it on Letterboxd.
Oh, you should. You could do that right now while I'm talking.
Got any trivia?
There's one other song I want to talk about.
Yeah.
And there's other movie so in another movie that we will eventually cover, not a John Carney film, but it shares some similarities in terms of sentiment towards music, where there's one character who's kind of a purist and is a little bit more simple and like traditional, and the other person's like, well, I want to experiment and try these new things, and this is what sells, and like that kind of stuff. So there's a song on this record that Dave, it's a song that he writes apart from Greta, and it's called A Higher Place. And it's very much a poppy song, but I will fully admit, I think it's a banger. It has so much energy, and bro, roll the windows down in the summer to that song and just go speeding. Like, it's a vibe. It's really good. I really like it. It's like, yeah. And so sometimes I feel guilty because it's like, I feel like I'm not supposed to like this song, but I really like it. Like and that's the case with La La Land. That was the other movie I was referencing. There's a scene in which they play a jazz song, and it starts out very traditional jazz, and then it becomes like this neo jazz electronic pop funk thing. And at first, the first time I saw it, I was like, this isn't that good. But then as I watched them, I've seen the movie like 6 times. Like, I've started to kind of be like, okay, I kind of like this movie, but this song, but I'm not supposed to. So it's like a very conflicting thing like that. I'll go ahead and say how I would rate this. I'm curious. I need to check my Letterboxd score, actually. But this isn't a perfect movie. I think there are better movies, but like my bias, this is like one of my favorite movies ever. Like easily. for a while, I actually had it as one of my favorite movies on Letterboxd. Let me check what I gave it. Begin again. I gave it 4 stars, so that'd be an 8 out of 10. I might even be tempted to give that. I'm gonna, you know what, 4.5, just because.
I gave it 4.5. I really liked it.
Yeah, just because we're talking about it, I want to give it I feel like giving it a higher score.
You should check my review.
I will. Adam Levine out here in 2022, still wildin' like Dave Cole, crazy. Also, Dave has the same last name as a major, clothing brand chain. Do you guys have Kohl's in Canada?
Kohl?
Yeah, Kohl's. Kohl's.
What does it look like?
It's like just a big... No? Interesting. I wonder if you have them anywhere in Canada. Maybe not. But maybe, and that honestly, Kohl... there are Kohl's in...
There are Kohl's in Canada.
Just not around where you are.
Speaking of things that aren't really in Canada, but now are. Chick-fil-A. So...
Oh.
Has
that never really been?
I went to I was gone at a little youth thing for the church. a little thing up to one of the colleges. And
yeah, a little thing at a
little Bible college.
Undisclosed location.
It was a lot of fun. On the way back, everyone was like, "Should we get Chick-fil-A?" I'm like,
"You stopped at the filet."
I've never had Chick-fil-A. And they're like, "Huh? You've never had Chick-fil-A? Dude, it's the best thing ever." So, I was like, fine, let's run it. We went to Chick-fil-A.
Oh, no. Right? Okay. Did you have a bad experience, or were you just underwhelmed?
Painfully underwhelmed. Like, they hyped it up like it was genuinely the greatest thing. Which
Some people hype it up too much. It's just the best fast food chicken, I think. Like, in terms of a chicken sandwich.
No, bro. I'm sorry.
Where would you go for a better chicken sandwich?
Dude, there's one place called Mary Brown's. And Mary
Is
Brown's
that fast food?
Yeah, it can be. Like
For reference, I'm specifically talking about chicken sandwiches, and I guess I should rephrase what I said. I actually think Popeyes has a better chicken sandwich than Chick-fil-A. Because it's like crispy, and Chick-fil-A's is like softer, if that makes sense. But I'm still a fan of Chick-fil-A. Did you get a deluxe? Did you get a spicy? What was the order?
A grilled chicken sandwich, the one with like.
Oh, what the? What? Whoa!
Bro, that's what half the other people got.
Oh my goodness!
I was told to get it.
Get an original chicken sandwich.
Okay, maybe I will next time. But just so you know, the Chick-fil-A sauce, bro, that's just honey mustard, and it's kind of not crazy. And the waffle fries are so salty. So salty. Like, low-key,
okay.
9 days out of 10, I'm going to Wendy's, bro. Like,
okay, I will say this. Your Chick-fil-A, like, this is a Chick-fil-A in Canada. Who knows what they're doing there?
That's also true. But they were hyping it up.
And I will also say this. I've heard that the grilled chicken sandwiches are like solid, but not as good as like the standard breaded chicken sandwich.
Noted for next time. I'll note that for next time. But
I always get spicy. I always get a spicy deluxe.
I'm also gonna fully take into consideration your claim of it just being whack in Canada, because I've been to American Tim Hortons and oh my gosh, they're disgraceful.
The chains are for sure different when like any McDonald's outside of Canada and the U.S. is going to be like different. Completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe Chick-fil-A in Canada sucks, but at least the one I went to.
Those Christian Canadians are cooking the chicken a little bit different.
Yeah, we don't have chickens in Canada.
Because I really enjoy their waffle fries, but I actually don't go to Chick-fil-A often because for a few reasons. It's on the higher end of fast food, so it's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
And there's not one that's like immediately close to me. Like the closest one is like 25 minutes away.
Yeah.
So I don't go a lot. There is a Popeyes that's only like 8 minutes away from me.
I haven't been to Popeyes either, but they were saying Popeyes is good.
Popeyes has an absolutely busting spicy chicken sandwich. Their spicy mayo sauce is like, oh, so good, bro.
Noted.
It's so good.
Should we begin to wind this very focused episode down?
I guess we should. I'll give like an official. So to clearly state, I gave it a 9 out of 10 or a 4.5 out of 5. If you're on Letterboxd, I think Evan gave the same thing.
4.5 out of 5.
If you are into movies that aren't musicals but have music in them, and specifically good music, this is like the top of my recommendation list. And it's just so good. Everything's good about it. Everything.
Indeed.
So yeah. Tune in next because next week will be normal. So tune in next episode of M&M when we finish the John Carney movies, and we'll do Sing Street.
He's only done 3.
What we'll do after that. He might have done some other stuff, but he like I said, I think I mentioned in the last episode,
he kind of just does them for.
He just like. He's not a director that just like does things. He he wrote this movie alone and then directed it. And I think he did the same thing with Once. So like he does things that he seems to be like invested in.
Yeah.
And it typically, so far the trend is music, because his next movie will be about the Bee Gees, which is a band. So, but that will be his first biopic, because all his other movies have been like original, like not like
based on anything.
Not true. Yeah, they're they're fiction. But this one, this new one will be based on an actual band. So I'm interested to see what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you guys are enjoying this journey through these movies, because a lot of people don't know about John Carney. So did I say Cardi?
Cardi B.
Oh, that's awkward. Cardi B.
Yo, documentary on Cardi B.
But if you're enjoying the John Carney stuff, if you haven't given a review, please give a review. Comment if you're on YouTube. Do all that stuff. Subscribe, like, and give me a big ol' kiss.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Movies Not Music. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a comment below. And if you'd like to connect with us personally, you can find both of us on Instagram at The Waves on the Shore, and our personal accounts, myself, Evan, at The Overshore, and Jaron at JEPWOTS.